In this video, I'm going to be giving you an introduction to Clickfunnels and showing you some of the basics that you'll need to build your first sales funnel. If this is the first time you come across this channel, we make videos teaching people how to make money online and how-to videos. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. If you would like to follow along with what I'm doing, then you will need a Clickfunnels account. If you don't have one, I'll leave a link in the description below. That will give you a 14-day free trial. So if you don't know what Clickfunnels is, or you've just heard about it and you're interested to see what it does, Clickfunnels is a page builder, but it specializes in creating sales funnels. If you are in affiliate marketing or you just want to sell your product or your service, a sales funnel is probably the route that you want to go, because that way you can collect email addresses, create upsells, downsales, and all that kind of stuff is all built into this platform. So the funnel we're going to be looking at is a bridge funnel. And a bridge funnel is a funnel that you'll probably find yourself using quite often if you're in affiliate marketing, and I'll explain why shortly. But first, I'm going to show you my live funnel for a online business opportunity that I'm promoting at the moment. This will all make sense as to why I'm showing you it in a moment when we create our first funnel. So this is the opt-in page. So it's got a headline, sub-headline, some points about it, and then the opt-in. So this, once someone puts their email address in and then clicks the button, they get added to my email list. But what happens after this is they get sent to my thank you page, which has another video on here which shows them inside the platform that they are going to hopefully join, and then it gives them a little bit more details about what some of the affiliates using this have actually earned. But the point of the bridge funnel is so that you can warm that person up before they go to the main sales page or the video sales letter. So they go from your opt-in to your thank you page, then onto the affiliate offer, because by that point you've given them some extra details in your video, you've shown them inside the platform. They're now like eager and willing to pay for this service because they can see how good it is or how much benefit it would be for them. That's why it's called a bridge funnel, because this thank you page is the bridge between your opt-in and your actual sales page. So now that we understand the why a bridge funnel is good and what actually is a bridge funnel, we're going to go and create one. So when you first get onto your funnels page, so when you sign into your account, you'll click Clickfunnels and then for funnels, and you'll see this page. You won't have anything here, but once you do, they will show up under here. So we're going to click Add New, and then the classic funnel builder. So we're going to click Create New Funnel. And we want to collect emails, so we're going to click Choose. So we'll call this Demo. So what this group is if you were going to be selling multiple products from the same company, you can give it a tag and it will group all those funnels under one grouping, so they're easier to find. So we'll say demo, and then click that, and then click build funnel. Okay, So now that's gone and built our funnel, and it's created our opt-in page and our thank you page. So the opt-in page is this page, and the thank you page is this page, so our bridge page. So this is our bridge page, our thank you page. So because this is the first time coming to the funnel, we haven't selected a template or anything, so it's going to offer us them. So across the top you can see there's loads of different options. So if you're looking for a product launch or an order form or a one-click upsell, they've got all of them there, but we're just going to use email opt-in. And I'm just going to pick one that I'm going to pick this one because it's got a lot of elements that we can play with. So if you were doing this for real and you thought, okay, that looks nice, I'm thinking of using it, you can click the preview button and that will show you how it will look. If you do want to use that, close the page, go back and click select template. Okay. And that is now imported that template into our opt-in. So now you can see that's in our opt-in. So before we go any further, I just want to go over a few of the buttons and icons just so that you don't feel confused as to what they actually are. So steps is this screen we're on now, so our funnel steps on the left. Stats is where it will give you the stats of how many people have visited your page, how many have opted in, and then it will give you a percentage, which is your opt-in rate. Contacts, anyone that fills in a opt-in form on your pages will be added to your contacts. You'll be using an autoresponder, so this isn't important to have, but if you happen to forget to link up your autoresponder, they will be in this contacts tab. I myself have forgot to link up an autoresponder and I panicked that I had spent lots of money and lost all these leads, but they were in the contacts tab. So just something to keep in the back of your mind, that don't panic if you do, because they're in your contacts. The settings tab is your general settings for your funnel. So you can change like the name of it and just general settings for your funnel. I won't go into that now because that would just be wasting your time. The gear cog here is the funnel steps settings if you want to change them. Again, I'm not going to go into that at this stage because again, that'd be wasting your time. You can have a play around with that once you're happy with the basics. This link is the link to your page. So this link will take me to this opt-in page. You can also click this icon here, which is the square with the arrow in it, and that will load the page up. So that's now my page. So yeah, so that's those, and that's your live preview button. So this is really important because the live preview will show you everything you've changed, but when we get into the editing, there's a preview option, and that doesn't always show you everything. So always use this option to preview pages. This will show you the live changes you have made. Just something to keep in mind. To switch pages, so between your opt-in and your thank you, you literally just click that step. And this will load the thank you page, but as you can see, we need to now choose a template for the thank you page. So we're just going to go for something very basic like this. So we're going to select the template. And now we can see that we've got a thank you page. So each step has the same options. So on the thank you page, if you want to preview it live, you would click the same button here. So everything works the same. All this, The settings and all that are all they're all in the same place for each step. You just change to the step that you want to make the changes on and then click those icons. You can add a step by clicking add step, and you can get rid of a step by clicking the red arrow and pressing OK. So that's everything you need to know in this screen here. So we're going to start off now by going to the opt-in page and just going through some of the basic things that you're going to need to know. So click the edit page button. So this will load the editor. It looks like quite a lot across the top in the menu, but most of it you won't really even use. But I'll quickly go over everything and then we'll start using some of the options. So this arrow is to exit out, so that will take you back to your dashboard with all your steps. So once you finish editing, you would click save in the top right hand corner and then click exit, and then it will take you back to your funnel dashboard. The next one is a computer screen icon, and that's your desktop view, and then next to that is the mobile view. So if you click these, it changes the view between what someone would see on a desktop or what they'd see on a mobile. We're going to get into this in more detail later on, as this is very important, but we'll just go desktop for now. You can add apps in like Google Fonts or Font Awesome by using the apps. In the settings tab, this is where most of the things you'll be doing in regards of autoresponders, backgrounds, redirects and stuff will be. So we'll go through these in a minute. Pop-up, you can have a pop-up on your page. So if you want to see it, you click show pop-up. But obviously at the moment it's not styled, it doesn't have any text or anything, so it just looks a bit weird, but you would see it there. And then you can change the settings for your pop-up by clicking the show settings. Everything we add or change will all look like this. So it will have this box on the right hand side and you'll have different options across the top. So like settings, advanced, animation, and all you do is you click that and then it will show you all the options available. So you can change the backdrop, the background color, the text, the padding, the top margin, the background image, the edges, the border radius, everything. So you can change pretty much everything with this pop-up here. But just to bear it in mind that everything's going to look the same. You can have all your options on your right hand side. Once you finish editing, you just click off on the screen outside of this options box. So here would close it. So the next we have sections. Our sections are the main holder of everything. So just imagine it as a box around everything. That is what a section is. If you want to add a new one, just click add section. Probably no reason why you would want to do it, but if you did, you can add one. If you click manage, then it would list all of the options. So list all the sections here, and then you can move the location of them or hide and show them or copy them. You then got rows. So your rows sit inside the main sections, and they are again holders of different like elements and columns, which we're going to get to next. So if you look at my screen, you'll see that the top progress bar has got a blue box around it, because it's a one column row. So it's just one column row. It stretches across one. The next one is a 2 column row. So this row has been split into 2, and that will become clearer when we get into the columns section after this. The next option is, sorry, the next one is the one column, which is the bottom one, which you can see that's highlighted blue now. Again, like before, we can press the arrow here and that will move the one column above the two columns. So you can shift elements up and down the page by clicking these buttons here. If you press the eye icon, it will hide and show elements. It's not a good example really to show you on the rows. I'll show you on elements in a minute, but just so you can see that. You can copy whole rows, so if you click the duplicate icon, it will duplicate it, or you can get rid of the row. The next is columns. So you can see the top one is a full column, it's not split. Then the second one is a 2-column row. So in the previous, when we were in rows, it said a 2-column row. It's because we've got a left and a right. This is really helpful because obviously if you wanted an image or a video or something on the left and text on the right, you would use a 2-column. The last one is then our 1-column, which you can see highlighted blue. So you can add new rows by hovering over the current rows by just moving your mouse over it, and you'll see a blue button which says add new row. When you click that, you then have these options 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 column rows. So if we add a 4-column row, you can see here we get 4 boxes. So we can add elements so we can now add 4 separate elements to our page. So that should hopefully make sense as to what if I go to columns and go to so now this makes more sense. So we've got a 4-column row, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that matches up with our 4 new boxes. So depending on how you want to style your page, you choose how many columns you want on your page. If you want to get rid of any elements, sorry, if you want to get rid of a row, hover over it and go to the bin icon and delete, and then that's now gone. The next options are the elements. So you can add an element, but I'll go into that shortly, and then you can manage. This is actually really helpful, especially when you're starting out, because you can see what the creators have used to make certain effects, or how they've laid out the page by looking at what elements they've used. So we can see the top one's a progress bar. That's an image, headlines, headline, input, a button, and an image, and a paragraph. So you can see what each one is if you need to identify where that is on the page. Again, here you've got the up and down arrows, which means you can move the element above the previous one. You can hide and show them by clicking the eye icon. You can duplicate, or you can press the bin icon to get rid of the element. So you have a preview button. The preview, I personally don't use it because it doesn't always update everything. Certain JavaScript things I find don't work. Sometimes the text doesn't fully update. So I wouldn't personally use this preview button, but if you do, all it does is just load the page in the preview window. But instead of the preview, use what I showed you at the beginning, which was that square icon with the arrow going through it to view the live preview. Okay, so then you've got the save button, which obviously saves it and publishes the changes to make them live. So that's all the options across the top we've gone across now. So in the settings tab, we're going to look at the SEO SEO meta. Sorry, but first what I need to do, I'm going to leave this quickly. So I'm going to get a live preview open and then go back into it again. Okay. So our SEO meta data. So if we, so the title of the page, so if you look on here, it says copy my $2,000 business model. That's the page title. So let's change this to my opt-in page. I wouldn't advise using this. It's just sort of to show you on the screen when it changes. And then in the description, you just put what like you describe the page. If I would advise looking up how to properly do SEO meta data if you're really serious about this. But for now, I'll just put my amazing opt-in page. Then you can set keywords, author, or your social image. Again, you click off, click save, and then at 21:16 it should change. Okay, so if I go to my opt-in page now, and then just press refresh a few times. Okay, this is actually good that this has happened because it will show you what you can do if it will show you if you ever get this issue. So what's happened is I've got another step in one of my other funnels called opt-in. So it's loading the title for that page instead of my this page that I'm doing now. So I'm going to change the path names to my opt-in. I'm going to come back to this, so don't worry about it. I just want to show you the changes we've just made. So now I've changed the path. We can now see that the SEO data, SEO metadata, my opt-in page, that matches what we can now see in the title of the page here. So that's what the SEO meta data is. That's your title. The next one is tracking code. Your tracking code could be Google Analytics, it could be ClickMagick, it could be Facebook Pixel, it could be anything. You can put custom JavaScript in there as well. Custom styles, if you know how to style websites or someone else you know is going to style something custom for you, they can add it in there. Background, we're going to go through that now. So with the background, you've got the option for an image or a video or a background color. So at the moment, you can see that there's an image on the back. If you import a funnel and you don't want the background, to get rid of it, you go to settings, background, click into the box, and then select everything and delete it. And you can now see that that's gone. So if you now want a background color instead, so we will say we want to use black, we go to background, background color, choose black, and then we click off, and then you can see our background is black. In backgrounds, we also have the option to have a background video. So if you turn that to on, you put your YouTube link in here and then adjust all the settings you want here. We're not going to do that in this video because it's quite rare, I think, that you would use it, but it's very simple to use even if you do. Just turn it on. And then if you want to change the image for the background, again, you just click on the icon here, and then you can either use what ones you've already uploaded. You can upload a new image by clicking upload, or you can use their stock imagery. So if you go to background, you've got gradient colors you can use, and you've got patterns and textures, and you've got stock. And you've got search. So this search is free stock image sites. So if we put in, say, beach and click search, we've got all these images that we can use as our background picture now. So that's quite cool. So we'll click that and click add image. And now that's added that image to our background now. So we got a nice looking background. When you add an image to the background, you have these image position options. So you can full fit center, full 100% width, no repeat, or you can repeat the image, or any of these options. You're probably only going to ever use the top two. I always use fill 100% width. If you are using a background image, make sure that it's of high quality. If it's low quality, it will pixelate and just look bad. So make sure that it's a high res picture if you're going to use it as a background image. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to click save. That will save all of our changes. So that covers background. In typography, you can change the main font. So we'll just change it to that. And then the headline font, I like that as well. And then that just updates it in the funnel. And the general tab we're going to come back to shortly. Right, so we've covered everything at the top and gone through how to change SEO, metadata, ad tracking data, custom styles, backgrounds, and change the typography. So the next thing I want to go through is adding elements to the page. So there are a couple of ways that you can do this. If you want to add a element directly under a current element, so for example, under this progress bar, I want to add a new element. So when you hover over, you'll see that it turns orange. That then indicates that that's a element. So if you then click the plus, it says add new element. So we get all these options down the side. So we're just going to do a minute timer. Okay. So you can see that the minute time is under our progress bar. All elements work the same, and you change everything in the gear icon. The only thing that changes is the amount of options that are actually in there. So on this countdown timer, if we go to themes, we'll choose this circle theme because that looks quite cool, and then we'll set this to 5 minutes and 20 seconds. We'll change the font. If you go to advanced, you've got you can change it to say large, small, whatever you want, align center, and then change the label color, or if you want it to be bold or not. The labels are this hour, minute, seconds wording underneath. Okay, and then here again, once this timer finishes, what do you want it to do? You can redirect them to a URL, you can do nothing, or you can reset the timer. So I'm just going to leave it as this, and it will automatically reset the timer. I click off, I click save. Okay, so this is going to be a perfect example of when preview doesn't work, but the live one does. So if I click preview, okay, that is a bad example. They've now fixed that. So on the preview, these timers never used to work. So this is something they've recently fixed. So, okay, ignore me on that one. But so you can see when you click that, it starts off our time at 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So you can use this to say that the offer ends in an hour or something like that to get people to opt in, so they don't feel that they can come back later, that they need to opt in now. That can help your opt-in rate. Okay, so the other option you've got is to add a new row. So if we hover over these elements here, you'll see that the row that's surrounding it is in blue. If we click the blue add new row, we're then going to say we want a 2 column. So we've got 2 columns now, and you see when I hover over it says add new element. If I click that, I can then add a element. So I'm going to add an image to the left one. I think I clicked that. Yeah. And then I'm going to add a bullet list to the left one. Cool. So I've added bullet list there. So this, so that's another way to add add elements to the page. So you can either add them directly under by the plus, or you can add a new row and then add your elements that way. Okay, so now we're going to look at adding images, uploading images, and using Clickfunnels stock imagery. So this is an image element, so we will use this. So like every other element on Clickfunnels, it's controlled by this gear cog. So press the gear cog, and then again we have all these options. This is the link to the current image, which is the placeholder. So we're going to change it. So we click the image icon. So here we can either use images we've already used. So if we've uploaded these, they'll be here. Again, you can search like we did before. You can use these background images, stock images, or you can create a map. This is something, this is really powerful. If you were having an event running or something, you can create a map, put it straight into your sales funnel. So what we're going to do, firstly, we're just going to use a image we've already uploaded. So we'll use this car image, click it, add it, and that's as simple as it is to add that image to the page. If we then hover over the image, click the gear icon again, and go to themes, we can use these pre-styled themes. So this has got a bit of a shadow on it. So if you look now, the image has got a bit of a shadow under it. So obviously you can play around with what you think looks nicer. I won't waste your time doing that now. You can align it left, center, right. Border radiuses, so make the corner so it's gone circle, if you can see. Add a shadow to it. Change the visibility. Animations. There's loads you can do here. So I'd advise you just to go in, add the elements, and just have a play around. Whenever you're adding images, always make sure you add alt text. It will help with your SEO score. So you could just put man sat on car. Let's say probably not the best alt text, but it works for this demonstration. If you have image dimensions that you want to use, let's say 250 pixels wide by 250 pixels high, then you can manually set them here. We're not going to do that, but that's just to show you that you can. You can link your image so that when someone clicks it, it can go to another website. But what it can also do is all these actions. So you can open the pop-up, you can submit the contact form, you can go to the next step in the funnel, you can close the pop-up, or you can use as a yes or no link. So these are really powerful options. I like to use the submit form. If I'm offering a free ebook and someone clicks it, it will prompt them to submit the form. So that's a really good option to use there. Something I didn't know till fairly recently was that the Clickfunnels give you a set of stock images, which like credit card details, this plus sign, badges. You've got arrows which you can change all the colours on, boxes. These might not look great here, but they look really good if it's placed correctly in a sales funnel. It can give it a really nice touch. And then underlines, and then faces. I'm not quite sure when you would use these, but I'm sure someone is more creative than me and they would know how to do that. So if we want to add an arrow in, we can just click it and click add image. I think I clicked it. So that's now added the image there. That looks really bad, but it's fine for this demonstration. So that goes over how to do how to add your own image, or how to use their stock imagery, or how to search for an image. If you want to add your own, you just click upload, and then you choose the file, and it will be added to this list, and you add it the same way as if you were here now, and we changed it to the basketball one. So we've now changed it there. Okay, cool. So that's the upload of the image done. So the next thing I want to go over is the text elements. So in the text elements, you have a few more options. So you've got text color and a bold color. This bold color is a really nice touch, because if we make it red, let's say, see it's highlighted everything, because this is all bold. So on any text element, if you want to change the text, you double click on the text, and you can see now you're in like a editor like you'd get in WordPress or something. So if I highlight it all, you can see that bold has been highlighted. So everything is in bold. So if I click B, it will take all the bolding off. So my text goes back to white. But if I want to highlight and make people pay attention to should or send, let's say, if I highlight that, if I put bold on that, it will then make it this nice red, which makes it stand out. So that's why you want to set your bold color different to your text color. So doing the same thing, you can underline by pressing the U, or italic by pressing the I, so you can make your text stand out and be a bit more funkier. So that's the text. That's the text element. So far we've gone over what all these icons mean, how to add elements below a current element, or how to add another row and then add elements to there. I'm not going to add any more elements to the page because they all work the exact same. I think I've said that a couple of times already, but they all work the same. You just click the gear icon, and then we can see here. So, for example, this has got different options, like the icon color. So I want the ticks green and the text color white, so that it stands out. But I want my bold color, that nice red. Actually, that doesn't look very nice. That might look better. But you can see how fast it is and quick it is just to change all this round. And again, they've got themes here as well. So if you wanted to use their themes, you can. And then you've got an advanced tab, so you can put icon pickers, so you can use your own icons for where the icon is here. See, that's changed. you can just change them to whatever it is you want there. So I'm not going to add any more elements now because they all work exactly the same, and it's probably getting boring me showing you the same thing over and over again. So next thing I want to show you is something that scares quite a lot of people, and it's really not a scary concept at all, but adding your autoresponder. I use Aweber, which is my personal preference to autoresponder, and I recommend if you don't have one that you would use that, and I'll leave a link in the description for that if you want to get your hands on a 30-day free trial. So I'm not going to go into the full process of adding Aweber, but basically all you need to do is once you set up your account and you've created your list and your sign up form, which I'll link in the description of how to do that because I have a video which covers that. You would hover over your icon in the top right and then click integrations. You would then come to a page like this and you click add new, and then you just choose whichever autoresponder service you've chosen to use and follow the steps, and that is as simple as that is, and then that's added in there. So once you've added it, you now need to link your sign up form here to your autoresponder. So what we do is settings, integrations, and we then from the integrations we choose whichever one we went with, whichever service we went with, and then on the action we want to say integrate existing form. Then we need to choose the list that we want the email address to be added to. So I'm just going to use a test list that I've got, and then once that's done, like the same as before, click out, click save. If you hover over settings integration, you'll now see a green tick. That means that it's worked. So this list is now linked up to, so that opt-in form is now linked up to the integration. So now that we have that done, I want to just go over all the things you can do with the opt-in form. So this opt-in form is built up of two different elements. So you've got your input field, which is the email. So you've got your email, and then you can change the placeholder text. So the placeholder text is where it says your best email. So we'll just change this to your email. And then it's required because we need it, so we have to force them to give us the email address, so the form can't go through unless we've got it. Again, we've got all these themes, we've got advanced options, so background colors, icons if you want it. So we've got an icon here. I want it to go on the left hand side, and you've got a name, phone, an address. So you can change all these to match your fields. So if you wanted to capture someone's name, again, you would click on the email, click add new element, go to input, click on that, and then we want to change this to first name, change the placeholder to first name, make it required, and that field is now going to be sent over with our opt-in form, and then we'll align it to left. So now we've got we're capturing the email address and the first name. So I'm going to get rid of the first name in this example because I don't need it. Okay, so now that you understand that they're two separate elements and you can add multiple options if you want to capture more details, we now need to go to the options for the button itself. So with the button, you'll notice a new option that you haven't seen before, and this is the set action. all that set action means is that when you click that button, do this. So you set the action. So you've got submit order form or submit form. Sorry, submit order or submit form. So this is the submit. This is your submit form. This is your opt-in form. You can also open the pop-up. So this can be really handy if you had another button on your page and you wanted them to opt in from your pop-up, then you would use the opt-in, open the pop-up. You can use Facebook opt-in, or you can redirect them to another website, or you can go to the next funnel step, or you can scroll to the row or section on a page. So what that one means is at the start we looked at the rows and we went to manage. So we've now got 4 rows, which you can see being highlighted now. If I had a button in row number 2, this one here with the bicycle picture, and I had a button that I wanted to take them down to the end, I could use the button in number 2 and set its option, its set action, to go to a row. So I can say I want it to go to that row. So now when I click that button, it's going to take me down to the bottom of the page. Obviously you're not going to do that on this type of page, but there are many times when you are, or you could use that to bump them down to maybe a like upsell or something on the lines of that. Or if you want to give them more details, then you could have a button saying find out more, and it takes them down to another section with additional information, which might help you get a opt-in. So we're going to change the option back to submit order, submit form, because that's what we want to do. We want to submit our opt-in form, and then we click save. So now we've got our list linked to the opt-in, and we've checked that our button is set to submit the order. So something that's really important here, and I know the question you're going to ask, so I'll answer it before you ask this here, is when you submit this form, you need to tell Clickfunnels where you want to send the user after they've opted into your form. So at the moment, we've got this set to submit order, submit form. So we want them to go to the thank you page because that's our bridge page, right? So you're probably wondering, why not just use go to next step in the funnel? But the reason you can't use go to next step in funnel for this order, for this opt-in form, is because we need to submit this form to add the email address into our list. So that's not an option using the go to the next step in the funnel. So what we need to do is actually manually tell Clickfunnels in one of the options where it is we want to go. So we want it to go to the thank you page. So what we need to do is, if we save this, so if we go back to our overview and click thank you, that will change the step, and then we click the live preview button. We're going to copy the URL, and then we're going to go back into our opt-in page. We're going to go to edit, and then in settings general, we have an option at the top which says on submit go to. So we're going to then paste our link in there, click off it, and click save. So what we've set, what we're telling the system to do now is when you click this button, once your email has been added to the list, go to this link. So this can be any link you want, but if you're using a bridge funnel, it's going to be your next page. So your thank you page, it will be your thank you page, but it might take you straight to an affiliate offer. It can take you wherever you want, but you just need to make sure that you set this general link if you want to redirect the user to somewhere after they've been added to your list. It's very easy to forget to do, so just make sure before you save and exit that you've checked your integration, you've checked that the action is submit order form, and that you have a on submit go to link set. Once you have all that set, then you are pretty much ready to go, because now you've got a email list linked up. You know how to add new rows, you know how to add images, you know how to use stock imagery, you know how to add elements, and you know how to change different options around. So another cool thing with Clickfunnels is that if you wanted this counter under this row, I hover over it, and with this move icon, if I press the left mouse button down and drag it under here, and I let go, it's now added it there. So obviously that doesn't look great, but you get the idea. So if I pull that above there now, so you can move elements there. But what you can also do is, if I wanted to move this entire row up, I can just press up, and it switches the rows. So you can really easily move rows and elements around the page by either manually dragging them around or using the up and down options. So the last thing that I want to talk about on this page is how to change the mobile views. So the mobile view is really important, because what you'll find is that a lot of your traffic will come from phones or tablets, so you need to make sure that it's styled, that the style's in place for mobiles. So Clickfunnels has a mobile tab. So if you click mobile, so this is going to now show us how it's going to look on a phone. It doesn't look great, so what we can do, so for example, let's say that we've decided that we don't want to use this timer on the mobile, but we want it on the desktop only. So we click the gear icon. Down here we've got two more options. So we've got mobile only or desktop only. So we want this countdown timer to only show on a desktop, so we click desktop only. So we've now been taken back to the desktop where we can see it, and it says desktop only. If we now go back to mobile view, that's gone, so that's been hidden. So anybody on a mobile is not going to see that countdown timer. So that's a really useful feature. The next thing that you'll want to look at is font sizes. So, for example, this headline, it doesn't look too bad, but let's say we wanted to get it on 2 lines rather than 3. See here, it says mobile size, and it's locked at the moment. So if I click the icon on the side, I can now choose a mobile only size. So if I say 28, that's now gone to one line. 29 still works. 30 is fine. Let's go 32. I think it will, yeah, so 32 is fine for mobile. And if I save this quickly and then switch to desktop, you'll see nothing's changed here. Let's see. settings. That's still font size 40 on desktop, but on mobile it's 32. And the same goes for the paragraph here. So we'll make this like an 18, and then that will just that will just make that look a little bit cleaner. So that works the same for buttons as well. So I'm just going to switch to the desktop and going to change the button wording. So to change the wording on the button, it's the same as all elements. So you just click the gear icon and then you just read what each of these options are. So the button text is send it now, which is the main text. We're going to send give me instant access, and then say no experience needed. Okay, so give me instant access doesn't go on one line even on a desktop, so we want to just bump that down until it does. So that looks fine for now, so we're going to save that, and then we're going to go over to the mobile view. So you can see now that give me instant access doesn't go on one line and it looks a little bit messy. So we'll go settings, and then again here we've got an option for mobile size text. So we'll change it to 18. So we're going to need to go probably 9, 18, 17 we'll do it. No, 16. So font size 16 makes it go on one line, so it looks a lot tidier. And then for the subtext, so the no experience needed, we can do the same thing there as well. So we'll go 11. So now that's nicely styled now. So that's how you style different elements for mobile and desktop. So just to recap, you can use the options to hide and show on mobile only or desktop only, and then on the text options, sorry, not that one, this one, wasn't it? On the text options, you've got mobile size font options, which you will use quite often. So that covers everything that you're going to need to know to get up and running with your first sales funnel. So we've actually covered a lot in quite a short time. So we know all these options across the top mean. We know how to move elements, add rows. We know how to change the options for the elements. We know how to edit text. We know how to change and set bold colors. We know how to move rows up and down. We know how to check that our email opt-in is all set up correctly, and we know how to set our redirect links, add tracking code, and change our SEO metadata. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you one last thing which I think is important. I don't want the video to drag on too much longer because I know I've taken a lot of your time up already, but this is important. So the last thing that you'll want to do is on your opt-in pages, you'll want to set a split test up. A split test will mean that you can change certain elements of the page and see which one gets the better opt-in rate, and then you can then keep improving and getting better opt-in rates and more sales. So all you've got to do is click create variation and click the create duplicate page from opt-in. Okay, so once that's loaded, you'll see that we have two of the exact same pages. Something that you need to take into consideration here is that for some reason it does not link up your autoresponder in your split test variation. So you need to go into edit, and do the settings, integrations, select your autoresponder, select your list, and then click save. So we're going to make a very quick change, and we're just going to put how should I send your free training. Click save, and then we're going to go back to the exit. So now when this loads, you're not going to be able to see it because it's too far down the page, so let me get rid of something. I'm going to get rid of this whole row by clicking the bin icon, click save. Cool. So we should be able to clearly see they're different now when that loads in. Okay, so we can now clearly see they're different, and that says how should I send your free training. And then, so once you can see there's two different, so you've got your control, which is your original, and your variation, which is your split test. Once you've gone into the edit mode on your split test version and linked to your autoresponder, save and exit and come out and set this slider for 50-50. That means it will send 50% of traffic to your original and 50% to your variation. Click apply changes, and that's now set. So now any traffic you send to your funnel will either be sent to variation, your original, or your split test. When you hover over, you'll see declare as winner, and then it will give you a percentage of the confidence score. So if, for example, you send 200 clicks and this one got 15% opt-in and this one got 40, this would tell you that to declare this as the winner. When you click declare as winner, you click it, it will say are you sure, click OK, and then it will remove the other option that lost, and then this, your original, your control will be the winner. So then once you know the winner, you then create another split test, and you just keep going on and on and on until you get a really good performing sales funnel. So we've covered a lot there. If you have any questions, please leave them in the description and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if you found this video useful in any way, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, and I'll see you next